Hello and welcome to this module, part of the monitor section, and this module is about telemetry and analytics. We're going to step through some of the available analytics that are available inside Power Platform. If you are an admin of your environment in your organization, I highly recommend that you fire up the Power Platform Admin Center and click along with this and have a look around and see what's there. Some stuff you might not be able to do, like might need to activate some settings that I wouldn't recommend doing, but certainly you can browse around some of the out of the box reports and things like that. So admin reporting is in the Power Platform Admin Center. You can check out who's doing what, users, which locations, capacity. Capacity is more important than ever because there are limits imposed on capacity. You can look at errors, you can look at service performance and usage of apps, and yeah, you can use custom Power BI reports and Power Automate as well. So Power Apps and Power Automate logs are available at protection.office.com. So there are some logging that is available in the Microsoft Graph. So Dataverse is focused at Dataverse. I'll cover that in a bit. So protection. So as Power Apps and Power Automate logs are available here, and these are the things that are being logged at protection.office.com. Audit records are stored in Office 365 Security Compliance Center. That's for Office 365 E3 or greater. Logging must be enabled at the organization level, and Office provides an API to query this data, which you can get access via the Microsoft Graph. You can also look in Power Platform Admin Center to see things in here. You have admin analytics. Accesses data available for environment admins, stored for 28 days and refreshed daily. There are also maker analytics, so you can see Canvas app and flow level analytics available from make.powerapps.com and flow.microsoft.com. So there are analytics inside for makers and analytics for admins as well. Data stored for 30 days, data refreshed daily. The data stored for 30 days is important. It's the reason why that is, obviously there's some benefits in terms of storage across the whole thing, but for certain compliance requirements, you can't keep data for longer. So to maintain certain compliance standards, data can't be stored for more than 30 days. So if you want to store data for more than 30 days, you need to code it so that you can keep those logs in a separate location. So what kind of things do you have in the admin analytics? You've got environment level analytics from right within the admin center. Date refresh daily, stored for 28 days. Highly recommend you browse around some of those. You can see these are the types of things you can see for Dataverse. Mode of access, number of active users, number of creates, reads, updates, deletes, plugins, API calls, at the environment level. So this is at a user level, this here is at a maker level, and this here is at a I'm actually not sure why this is repeated here. I'm not sure why this is repeated. I assume this is not sure why this is repeated, but there we go, it is. Administrator has access to other useful for, as an administrator, these are things that you can kind of use this data for. There are filters available that you can change. Now I'm not, this screenshot might be out of date, but click around in your environment, you can see the types of things that are available to you. Power Automate Admin Analytics provides environment level views of Power Automate Admin. So you can see the types of flows created, the creation trends, list views, and there's the Center of Excellence Toolkit, which gives more visibility to this. We'll talk about in a later video, in a later module. Insights connector usage, which is useful, which helps to adjust DLP policies if you need to. So you can view what's going on with the flows and what connectors are being used. If a connector is being used that you weren't expecting to be used, then you could block that by checking out these analytics. So this is an example of the Power Automate environment level views. You've got the flows that are being used. You've got you can choose 7, 14 or 28 day time period and see what's running, and what is this? This is the connectors being used, and the number of calls per connector as well. So by flow runs and by actual calls. So you can see here this one is being called, it's being used here, actually used in this number of connectors, but it's responsible for all of these API calls. So I wonder what that is. That's Power Automate. This is Power Apps. Administrators can view data for Canvas apps. This is for Canvas apps. For model-driven apps, you'd be looking at Dataverse statistics rather than there's no model-driven app performance. It's all driven by Dataverse. So with Canvas apps, you can see how many users are using the app, which countries they're using it from, number of errors delivered by toast errors as well, service performance, best and least performing service, standard and custom services in the environment, and this allows you to check where apps are being used, from which platforms, and get an overall view of the performance. Identify those apps with the most errors as well. That's the Power Apps Admin Analytics. You can see those in the Power Apps Platform Admin. And here you've got the different reports. Again, I recommend you go and check these out in your environment. So capacity is a report that you need to start looking at a bit more regularly if you're not doing so already. Capacity, it is quite generous. And it depends on your organization size, but capacity is quite generous, but you can still run out, and you may need to get additional capacity if needed. So it's important to do that. New instances, every time you create a new environment, it uses 1 gigabyte of database capacity if it's a Dataverse environment, and you can see here the capacity overall and also per environment, which is useful. There's also you can see how that capacity is being used as well. So here's the different screens of that. So if you don't have access to this in your environment, you can pause here and just look at some of these reports that are available. Per environment, the little icon there for the statistics shows you what's happening in that environment and what the trend is for that environment, when you're likely to run out. And Dataverse for Teams. So there are capacity enforcements. Needs to be within the limits. If I'm not sure exactly what happens if you're over capacity, you will be warned about it. Nothing will stop. I do know that nothing will stop, but you will be warned about it regularly. I'm not sure what happens if you ignore all those warnings, but I'd fix it if you do get to that point. So create a new environment, copy it and restore. are enforced. So if the capacity is overused, you can't create a new environment, you can't copy, or you can't restore an environment if you're overused. So you probably need to fix that up to do something if you do that. Creating a new environment, you're doing this 1 gigabyte of available database capacity for creating a new environment. Now, this is important, if you're old school and have been around for a while on this, you didn't need to do that. So what you could do is spin up a trial tenant and create new environments inside that trial tenant, create at least one new, but you can't do that now. So just be wary of that if you're thinking of using trial tenants for setting up playgrounds in multiple environments. You can't do that anymore. There are maker analytics for Power Apps. So inside each individual app, there are reports that you can see as well. So you can go into there and have a look. Last 7, 14, 28 days. Data refresh every 4 to 6 hours. And that's straight from the Maker portal for people that create the apps, which is really useful. And there's the reports that are available. And you also have the same thing for makers of Power Automate flows. These are available inside Flow as well. And these are the reports you can get inside there. I've also just worked out what these icons are. So these are the type of reports available. This is the health reports, and this is what administrators can do with it. Just notice that on this slide. That's it. That's it for analytics. Lots of stuff to delve into. Go have a look at your environment and play around with that. And also review, if reporting and telemetry is super important, do check out the module on Centre of Excellence Starter Kit as well. Chat to you soon.